There's just this isn't a suggestion. It's just that there is just this with notions of that. But all of that is this, all of it. Everything you've called that is not other than this. There is no other. There's nothing else. There's nothing outside. There's nothing inside. There's no inside or outside. Just this. This doesn't have a boundary. There's no escape. There's no way of approaching this. There's no way of avoiding this. There's no way of keeping this, of having this, of holding this. There's even no way of being this. You would have to be outside of this, apart from this, to be this, to become this. There can be no becoming. Just stories of becoming. So you could say unconditional love, the unconditional love, the unconditional nature of this is that no one can have it. It's not for you or me or them or us. It's not for anyone or against anyone. The neutrality is absolute. Yeah. It's impossible that there could be more or less. There are no possibilities. This is the only possibility. And so, of course, it's not a possibility. And I can say that you can't have this, you can't get this, but that's not strictly true. It's just that there isn't you to have or not have. There is neither having nor not having. There is no one to have or not have. How much more unconditional could it possibly be? It's not a typical notion of love, that's for sure. The typical notion of love is I give love and I receive love. It's a transactional process, a relational process. You scratch my back and I might scratch your something else. But that's not the love we're speaking of. And yet, of course, all back scratching is included. There can be as much or as little back scratching as seems to be going on. This doesn't continue. There's no continuity. This is born and dying simultaneously. With no space, there's nothing in between the birth and the death. And one of the great attractions of this was that I think I heard Sailor Bob talk about the ever freshness, always new. Of course, that sounds beautiful, you know, a brand new day, but not just a brand new, not just the morning is brand new, but every moment is brand new. The thing is, it passes away as it's born. The illusion is that there are things that have a lifespan and continue in time. And that sense all comes from my sense of my past, my present, and my possible future. And so we relate that to all other things and their life and how they relate to me. I'm not talking about that disappearing. That is the illusion of time and of continuity. And don't ask me how. I've no idea, but it can be undoubted that that's not absolutely true, but it is relatively true. This isn't a denial of relative truth, just that it's relative. You probably think you know where you are. You may still think you know who you are, what you are. And I'm not saying you don't think that. I'm saying you just think that. You think you know. That's all. That's all that's really being spoken about. And there's no escaping from thinking you know or thinking you don't know. I think I posted something like this yesterday, and somebody wrote underneath, commented, well, you think you don't know. And I said, and of course I can't argue with that. There is a difference between thinking you know and knowing you know, though. Maybe. I don't know. Most people don't think they know. Most people are certain they know. It's no good pretending you want to know that you don't know, though. It's no good sitting in there listening to idiots like me and think that, wish I didn't know. That's fucking not going to happen. Because you'd be kidding yourself. Self only wants to know. And of course, I'd want to know that I don't know. Well, you're not going to know that. Don't ask me how I know that you won't know. There'd be no point. But no, knowing is, there isn't any knowledge of not knowing. I don't know what there is. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, though. Not knowing. Probably not as good as I thought it would be either. Well, of course it isn't. It's just as it is. Will say it's surprisingly the same whether there's a sense of I know what's going on or not. Because there is only what's going on, what seems to be going on. And whether there's a sense of I know what seems to be going on, or there's a sense of I don't have a clue what seems to be going on. To self, that's that I haven't got a clue can be really threatening because I need to know what's going on to be safe, don't I? If I haven't got a fucking clue, then I'm at risk. I'm in grave danger. Well, you're to say self is overstating its ability to keep itself safe through knowledge. It's all illusory. Your knowledge won't keep you safe. That's the bad news. The good news is you were never safe anyway. There was no one to be safe or not. There is a very strange, I couldn't call it security, but peace in not seeking security. That's the peace that passes all understanding, that there is there's no safety here. You haven't got a clue what's going on. No one has. Anything can happen. No one actually knows what is happening. Some people think they know what has happened, and that's what will keep them safe. So I know historians are really they're a perfect example of how we can learn from history and therefore we can avoid disaster again. The catastrophes, all the ills of humanity can be learned, the lessons learned from history. Well, maybe there's nothing to learn, which is a bit rich coming from a teacher. Don't tell the kids. This is only for cynical old bastards, not for the kids. It's strange that, I mean, I say cynicism, but again, I'm just being sarcastic because there isn't cynicism is just seen as humorous, not cynical. I know that might sound strange, but because cynicism is very negative, and it's not a negativity that I'm speaking about. It's a transparency, a realism, you could say, that this is the only reality. I miss fantasizing. I just can't see the point anymore, or it just seems to be redundant. I don't know. But I was a fantasist, really, certainly in my young life. And now nothing's going to happen. So I don't know. It's like, well, what's the point of fantasizing? So it just doesn't seem to happen. Well, far less. It could happen. Far less than I used to. I used to live in an imagined future all the time. Quite a loss, though. Can seem to be the loss of hope and dreams. But it's not hopeless at all, because we're talking about the loss of hopelessness and despair. They're all in the future. Dreams, hope, hopelessness, despair. It's all about tomorrow. I mean, this can be dreadful. Of course, there can be horrors occurring, happening, seeming to happen. But most fear, almost all fear, all neurotic fear, is about what's to come. And there's nothing to come. This doesn't come. This is already. This arrives and departs. And there is no arrival or departure. Well, I've waffled on a bit there. Oh, I've changed my background. What have I done? Oh, that's better. That's better. I'm back. Well, if you've got anything you'd like to share or ask, then just put your hand up. Catherine, hello.
Hello, hello. You're so handsome. You're
Thank
so
you.
handsome.
Oh, you're very welcome, Catherine.
Yeah, I'm on journeying through France,
Yeah,
and sort of the idea is I'm going to see Agnes in near Budapest. So it's a long drive, and I'm just so used to just sit at home, not do anything, and everything's just the normal. You step out the door, you walk down the same street, you go shopping or you go to the beach, and it's so yeah. And then there's the illusion of safety, and
yes,
this camper vanning, parking in a car park overnight, and you don't know who you're meeting, and nothing is known in a way.
yeah,
It's so um well, it's quite it's quite stressful.
yeah,
And driving behind really, really careful drivers. who slow down miles ahead of the traffic lights or coming into a village.
Have you been getting a bit frustrated with the slow
Oh
driving?
my gosh, I think
Are you
just the body's not used to it anymore, you know.
right?
Yeah, so
You're not prone to road rage, are you, Catherine?
no, but the chap behind me, because I kept braking
Oh
because
yeah,
the person in front of me was so slow. I kept braking,
yeah.
and they're just right behind,
Mm.
wanting to overtake. Hoot, hoot. So they sounded
Yeah.
my frustration.
Hmm.
No, and when he went past that guy, I just did, you know, he wouldn't have seen it because the driver's on the other side.
Oh, you gave him the gesture.
Oh yeah, of course.
No,
Uh,
it's fair what you say about familiarity. So familiarity um, gives the illusion of safety because
yeah,
I know where I am and I know where everything is, and I know all the people locally, and so I feel safe. Yeah.
yeah,
There is an insecurity in not knowing. That's why self is so
yeah. There's
that's why
I
not
mean, the body feels like it's shaking, you know.
yeah,
At the
yeah,
same time, it's like just chatting to
yeah.
anybody in the park, and it's
I
just
know
so natural, so lovely.
it's beautiful.
Yes.
But remember I
Mm.
mean the thing is you don't know the illusion is that you know your neighbors who you see every day or every other day. You know them no more than you do that stranger that you've just met today.
Oh
You
yeah,
don't
I'm probably less.
probably less. Exactly.
I more or less don't need my neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course that illusion of well, I mean, here's a basic fact. Most people, who are you most in danger from? The ones you know best. They're the most dangerous.
I don't know.
Oh
And
no,
I'm not even
absolutely.
going
Oh
to
no, I
take
mean,
your word for it.
in the statistics, you're far more at risk from your family and close friends than you are a stranger. I mean, that's ironic. You know that we feel this security in what we know, and yet, of course, there's no security in it at all. We just don't know.
Yes, I mean, um, when I was 24, so my eldest sister got hit by a car and died instantly. And beforehand, there seemed to be a carefree life until suddenly there was death, you know,
Yeah.
and seeing the body and nobody moving,
Hmm.
you know, I just felt like throwing up. I didn't, but it's such
Yeah.
a shocking, traumatic thing that
Yes.
was never spoken about, you know. But
Right.
I would say for a long time, there was no joy. There was a fear
Hmm.
of feeling joy.
Yeah. Right.
And you have to watch your back, you know,
Yeah.
and like in a lot of people who have a death of a close one, is there's some guilt that comes up as if for some
Yeah.
reason it's your fault. And because nothing was talked about between family members. I lived in the UK, you know.
Hmm.
It's all this imaginary prison bars that you put across, and anyway, it's blah
Yeah.
blah blah. It's
No, but it is. No, to keep
yeah,
yourself safe. Of course you do. I
yeah,
mean, most selves imprison themselves because it feels safer in there.
yeah. It's just I couldn't laugh. You know, if I heard people really have a raucous laughter, if that's the word,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it because I would feel the grief instead.
Right.
a
Yeah.
grief would come up. Anyway, it's all story, you know. It's
Oh, it's all stories. It's all we've got, Catherine.
yes,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah, yeah,
stories
yeah.
are beautiful. We haven't got anything else.
Ah, oh. I can't do
Oh,
it, but there's a heart.
thanks, Catherine.
Thank you. Nice
Thanks,
to see
Catherine.
you.
Oh, and you. No, the illusion of familiarity is the illusion of, I know. And of course you don't. You don't know another. You don't know any others. You know of them. You know what you think about them. No more. You know nothing of them. You've never seen another self. So yourself knowing another self is absolutely illusory. No one's ever seen you. There's no you to be seen. Which is both shocking, can feel devastating that you'll never be seen. You can't, it's not a possibility. There's nothing to see. There isn't a you to be known, to be seen. There isn't a you to become at one with another. There can be intimacy, but it's not between you and him, between you and her, between you and them. There is just a sense of intimacy. But I will say one of the most wonderful, liberating aspects of what I'm speaking of, or what's being spoken about, is the absence of self-consciousness. You know, when you're talking to someone and you think, oh, they really can see me, and I'm feeling so self-conscious of their glare, their looking. They can look, I'm sure they see me. Well, they don't. There's nothing to see. You can't be seen. It's both tragic and hugely liberating. The tragedy is if you've been trying to be seen, to be heard, to be known, to be loved, to be accepted. Well, there is none of that as a possibility. So the impossibility of that is both liberating and a loss. There can be great grief for the self that tried so hard to be seen. That's me talking there. I tried hard to be seen. I tried hard to be heard. I was desperate to be known. Look how many selves want a legacy, even in death. I want my people to know me and remember me as long as possible. That's what most selves are striving for. So futility sounds dreadful to self, but actually the futility of all of that seeking, to be known, to be loved, to be seen, to be heard, to be remembered, all wonderfully futile, beautifully so.
Catherine, did you have your hand up again?
I did, Darren.
Oh yeah, good. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's something when you said about needing someone, the one, you know, to complete you. It's so nice when that's gone. Oh my gosh, what a relief, and yeah. And
Yeah.
I think most people will have tried to be seen. You know, you
Oh,
spend
no.
a lot of the time feeling invisible,
Yeah.
and but yeah, that's, I don't see that as a loss. It's
No. Well, if you've
this.
if you've tried to be seen, it could feel like a loss.
Oh
But
yes, yes,
but
yes.
actually, there's nothing to lose because no one could ever see you. Of course, you've always been invisible.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, even as a child, you try and look for yourself through old photograph.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, didn't we all fantasize as children that what superpower? I always fancied invisibility, even though I longed to be seen. Invisibility sounded good.
Oh no, I probably would have been flying. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
when you have
yeah. Oh
dreams
yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. Flying was probably my
Yeah.
top superpower.
I had a fantastic dream once, and it felt so real. I was flying amongst swans. I mean, you know, you can't
Oh,
get any better than that.
that sounds no, that's pretty good.
Yes, yeah. So anyway, that's
Thanks, Catherine.
yeah.
Razia has her hand up.
Hi, Razia.
Hi, hi, Tim. Hi, Darren. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think the things you said today are so relevant because, and when you think about it, we all fantasize. And up to a certain point, you are fantasizing. Oh, I wish I had this. I wish my life was like that. It's always like a want from a position of lack. And then one day it seems you suddenly realize, God, this is getting me nowhere, the fantasies. You might meet an accident if you start fantasizing while you're driving. Yeah, but it's this fantasizing is almost the same like Plato's cave, I think. You know, when you think about all those prisoners in those caves and all they saw was shadows. And that's all they believed in, that there was shadows, life was shadows. And if anyone at that point left and came back and told them, no, there's more outside of the cave, not many of them would want to believe that.
No.
Because to them, this is all that was. This is what they were exposed to.
Yeah.
And this year is like that. Those who experience this will say, I mean, obviously the word experience is, but those who have kind of experienced this will say, oh, this is it, it's different, like, life is like this. And others will say, no, it's not. Because to them, they're still there, watching the shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we all have our fantasies. And our
Yeah.
fantasies can only be what we know.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of us will only fantasize about what we know. Even if we want to fantasize about aliens, it would come from a position of watching a movie or something or the other. So that is the thing. When people talk about the tip of the iceberg, we only know the tip because that's what we see.
Yeah.
So lots of what is life is unknowable. But I don't know if anyone would know everything. I'm sure, like no one knows. Well, I don't know.
No, well, that's really, I mean, I don't know that no one knows,
Yeah, but even that too is.
but I don't doubt that no one knows. I mean,
at the end
that
of
might
the
sound just, oh, he's just playing with words, and just so he says he doesn't know that that no one knows. But I just don't doubt that everyone just knows what they know of this. And what
Yeah.
each human being knows of this is the extent of all knowledge.
Yeah, this is almost like you're creeping, It's like you are in darkness and then there's a little light, and then you're getting there, and then suddenly you think that you have found light now, but then there's darkness again. And like when I was listening to Catherine, I remembered like when I was a child, I was scared of the dark and ghosts. And that is right up till I was 50 years old. I was scared of ghosts.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I would go out, I remember I had a mantra, like an affirmation. I am not afraid. I am fearless. And I'll say that continuously. I am fearless the whole time that I drove.
Yeah. I
And
used to,
then I would, yeah,
I was
sorry.
always terrified going to collect the coal. We had a coal fire, and I hated it late at night when Mum would say, just go down to the coal shed. Well, it's down between two high hedges, down a narrow. Well, I never went down there without shitting my pants.
Yeah,
Just this fear of the dark. And I would beg my brother, I would pay him, I would give him pocket money, sweets, so that he would go and get the coal instead of me. He could blackmail, he could bribe me anything so that he'd get the coal rather than me. He wasn't afraid of the dark. I was.
yeah.
Because it's the
Yeah.
fear, afraid of the dark is the fear of not knowing, is the fear of not seeing. What I can't see, I filled with monsters. I
Yeah.
filled with terrors. Just because, I mean, I could have filled it with beautiful things, but of course I didn't do that. I don't know anyone who's done that as a child. But
Yes.
so now the
Yeah.
dark, it is wonderful now. The darkness is like it's like a blanket. Darkness is like a duvet now. And of course, a duvet isn't anything to fear at all. It just wraps you in its soft
Yeah.
darkness.
Yeah.
It's quite beautiful, the darkness.
Yeah, because I remember once when I went to the hospital, I could see. I went and I was feeling okay, but when I entered the hospital, I could see the darkness. It was like everything was like dark. And I looked around and I was like so scared. And I don't know, I was there for quite a while. And then suddenly I looked at this child and I went around and I played with the child. And as I was playing with the child, I gave the child back to the mother, and suddenly the whole thing went bright. It was like the whole hospital around me had brightened up. So darkness is not like we're afraid of the darkness, but after the darkness, it's light.
Oh yeah, the light and the dark are not two.
Yeah.
It's all
So
this.
yeah, lots of us are afraid because, but I never got over that fear till I was like 50. There were times when I felt like there were like presence around me. I used to feel it. I used to get so
Mm.
scared that it
Yeah.
was like a demon or something. But yeah, those are like imagine that's when your fantasies go haywire. It's like the other way around,
Yeah.
rather than positive of it, like where we're building castles in the air. And obviously, you know that when you build the castles in the air, it's like the water is going to wash it all away.
Mhm.
But we still carried on doing that. But this was worse. This was like fearing something. I don't know. But I'm glad now I don't have those fears.
Oh yeah.
Glad, yeah, it melts away. And then all that. With fear goes insecurity too.
Yeah.
And much of our insecurity is about relationships. Like suddenly, like my husband died, and I felt very, I didn't, well, to be honest, I didn't feel much. I felt sad that he died, but I didn't feel the insecurity. But I don't know why. But I can understand now what people go through. When they lose a partner or something like that. And yeah, your whole life goes upside down.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Razia.
I went a bit on.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Lauren has a hand up.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Lauren.
Let me know if my connection is not good.
It sounds fine. I can hear you okay.
Okay. So, when there was a lot less stress in my life, it seemed that this blaming of someone, whether me or someone else, it was not a reflex anymore.
Right.
And then slowly the stress has crept back. And now it's like, at certain moments, there is that tendency. I'm just wondering if you have any, why is this happening?
Oh, I haven't got any answers to any why questions, Lauren. You can ask ask other people, they'll tell you. Everyone likes to know why things are as they are. There'll be lots of people happy to tell you why there's stress, or why this is happening, or why that's happening. I don't know
Well,
why.
yeah.
I don't know why anything happens, Lauren. That's the freedom that I'm speaking about. And so what I'd suggest is no one knows what's happening. No one even knows what's happening, let alone how it's happening and why it's happening. I mean, they're really tall orders. But the truth is there is only what's happening, and what's happening isn't really happening. It's just appearing to happen. So I don't know if that feels lighter. I know here it's been incredibly liberating that there is only what's happening, and I don't need to know it. I don't need to know why it's happening. I don't need to know how it's happening. It just is happening. And it is happening only, apparently, seemingly, just what seems to be going on. And absolutely nothing has ever happened. Nothing will ever happen. And absolutely nothing is happening. Now, that won't necessarily feel liberating. It might feel devastating. But as to why, I haven't got any answers to why. But I don't think. But here's the truth, Lauren. You don't need any answers to why. You think you need answers to why, and they will help. Because if you know the answer to that, that will help you then know what to do. It's illusory. This need to know that self is obsessed with, that will keep me safe, and that will make me happy, and that will make everything okay. No, it won't. Everything is just as it is.
I feel like I need a long time to let that sink in.
Sorry, say that again, Lauren.
I feel like that's a lot to let sink in.
Oh no, it's a man. I know.
Mm.
Yeah. I said it all in one go there, Lauren. Sorry about that.
You did. Yeah.
You got the whole. Yeah, I don't like to mess about. I need to give you the whole lot in one go.
Yeah.
All I would say, Lauren, is it is okay not to know, because actually no one does. So you can ask as many people as you want, and they'll give you their opinion, but it will only be their opinion, won't it? And you
Yeah,
might,
and I'm
and you
kind of,
might like their opinion, and so you might take it on board and say, "Oh, that's helped," but really, all that will mean is you liked it. That's all it means.
yeah, right.
And someone else will give you, you'll say, "Well, why is it this way?" And somebody will tell you their opinion, and you'll dislike it, and you'll go, "Well, that's shit. That's obviously not true," because you don't like it.
Yeah,
So maybe the truth is just what we prefer. Life is quite a lot simpler then. And I don't doubt that no one knows the answer to your questions, Lauren. And if there was an expert on you, it would definitely be you, Lauren. So there's no point in asking anyone else. They're not going to know more than you.
right.
I really mean that.
Yeah.
No one knows anything about you, Lauren.
Yeah. I had that realization actually yesterday that nobody has a better solution or decision than me, you know?
Definitely not.
But I kept asking people for their, for
Yeah,
what I
I
should
know.
do.
And well,
Yeah.
and then there's nothing wrong with asking them,
Yeah.
but rest assured they won't know.
Right.
But also rest assured that they probably think they do know.
Right.
So there's no problem with asking them, just don't take any notice of it.
Yeah.
I would say it's all just for entertainment. Anyone else's, another human being's opinion on what you should do or what is right and wrong and what should be done. I mean, it can be entertaining if that does entertain you. I would say it's incredibly tedious, but it's no more than entertainment.
Yeah. And the self is always under delusions, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and you if you're going to ask others and you think they know better than you, that's the whole delusion of self, thinking there are selves who are much better selves than me. Now, I mean this. I don't mean relatively. So, of course, I asked the car mechanic to mend my car because I'm ignorant of car mechanics, and I wouldn't offer to be a neurosurgeon. I'd leave it to the neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
But but on about you, Lauren, and what, I don't know, what brings you joy, what brings you happiness. I mean, you can talk to someone, but I would only be talking to someone that would just be reflecting you back to you, kind of thing. The only therapy I would recommend wouldn't be someone who just tells you what's right and wrong and what you need to do, but someone who listens and, a good person-centered therapist.
Yeah. Mm. Well, thanks, Tim.
Because I do. I mean, there are. I still have. I still have a soft spot for empathy, of course,
Yeah, I can tell.
and and empathy is a beautiful thing. You don't have to. But it's no point in asking how it works or what is actually happening. And there's no doubt that most people, when empathy is felt, it's obviously love. In person-centered therapy is called unconditional positive regard, and I would call it unconditional love. Because, of
Nice.
course, unconditional positive regard isn't unconditional at all. It's got the fucking word positive in it. So that's a misnomer.
Right.
It was clear from my training that was a complete misnomer. So negative is just as unconditional as,
So we're getting down to regard. Yeah.
Mm. Thanks, Lauren. Sorry, I
Thank
can't
you.
tell you why.
Yeah. Don't be sorry. I'm grateful, Tim.
Here's my advice. My advice is don't ever let anyone tell you why. You can listen to them and smile politely
Great.
and totally disregard it. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
No wonder people don't want conversations with me because they've heard me say. So now when I smile politely, they know, oh yeah, he's totally disregarding everything I've just suggested, which of course I am.
Wonderful. It's so good to talk to you.
And you, Lauren. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
I think the most beautiful thing is that there's just no experts anymore. There's experts on everything relative, and I've got great respect, more respect than I ever used to have, actually. And I mean that in every sphere of human endeavor. You know, who's an expert? But on life, no, don't be ridiculous. There are no experts. There are plenty who think they are. It's funny that you could become an expert in being alive, isn't it? Don't you think? I mean, it's how comical is that? Expert being rather than a novice, you know, that really mediocre, low level being. There aren't any levels to being. None. Absolutely none. It's a totally level playing field. So go and have a game. You've got as much right to play, and you're invited to play just as much as anyone else. There aren't any teams. You know, when you were picked in the playground and you were terrified of being picked last. No, there's no one picking teams. Everyone gets to play while it's playtime. God, when I was at primary school, even just saying playtime, I sort of get a buzz because I just lived for playtime. I was not an academic. I didn't like sitting in a classroom and just waiting. I'm just clock watching the whole time, you know, counting down the seconds to playtime, and then we can play. Well, there's nothing to fear about play because life is not a job. I was indoctrinated with a work ethic. I was heavily conditioned with work is righteous. There's nothing righteous about work at all. It's probably the biggest lie set to enslave the proletariat. Fucking hell, we're getting political today. But there is nothing good about work, essentially. Don't get me wrong, work can be beautiful and work can be hugely pleasurable and satisfying. But this is a lie perpetrated by, well, those who would like to exploit your work. Oh God, I don't think I've ever been so political. I've gone, it's like I could write a communist manifesto today. I have always been borderline, not just personality, but left wing. No. So if anyone asked me what they should do, I said, well, it's very straightforward. This is what I recommend to you. If anyone asks you, is just ask them what they enjoy, what floats their boat, what would they like to do more of on their deathbed? What are they going to say they wish they'd done more of? Well, stop what you're doing and do that, whatever it happens to be. It can't be wrong. Well, on that cheery note of anarchy, thanks very much for coming, everyone, and lovely to see you all. If you would like to come to Denise's beautiful house in Dorking on the 12th of July, you're very welcome. Just email me and I'll give you the details. If you'd like to come to Doris's in Berlin in September, it's now the second weekend in September. I think it's the 12th of September. And again, just email me or just go to the website and all the details are there. Thanks, Darren. Thanks everyone for coming.
Thanks,
Darren.
Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks.
you.
Thank
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Bye.
Lovely to see you all.
Nice to see you.
Thanks,
Cheers, Dan.
Tim.
Thanks.